What's up, everyone? Welcome to Pat's Chat. Proud member of the CLNS Media Network. The show is brought to you by Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I wonder if people listening to this podcast can tell, even just from the sound of our voices, how much sleep we got in the previous night.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? I'm not tired. I feel great. I will say this, Doug.
That's good.
Here's how I'm doing because you asked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing fine. You know how the Patriots are doing? They're booming. They're 9
They
and
are.
2. I feel like we're gonna do a lot of nitty-gritty in-game analysis today because that's what you do after a game. But just I look at those Thursday games as like survive in advance. You've got to get
100%.
through them.
Yeah.
They got through it. We're gonna break it all down, but it's also like I don't care that much about a lot of the specifics of that game because to me it's not a real football game. It's like a televised scrimmage that it's important to win. And they won. And the end result is they have the best record in the National Football League right now. And it's just insane. Like we've been watching it slowly develop. But that's my Friday morning wake up thought is like #1 in the NFL for a couple days at least. We'll see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny even watching the game as it went along because obviously you had your typical slow start for the Patriots defense, but then they pulled it together like they always do. Offense started out hot, but you could actually like physically see the tiredness of the team
Oh
build
yeah.
up over the course of the game, where if
The
that
pass
game
rush
wasn't on a Thursday,
especially.
if that game was on a Sunday, Sunday night, Monday, whatever, they probably do win by 20 or 30 points. But you could just see them all being like, oh God, we
Second
just played a
half,
football game.
trying to chase Justin Fields, they looked
Right.
like they were in quicksand. And what
Yeah.
are you going to do? Sit here and be like, don't be tired 4 days after you played a tough football game on the road in 83-degree humidity in
Right.
Tampa. Like it was an impressive win. Like obviously there were mistakes. You mentioned the first drive, and people are going to be frustrated at different parts. I don't know about you. I learned to just shut my mouth after that opening drive. Just like
Oh,
don't.
yeah. No, because usually if they allow a touchdown on the opening drive, then they're going to wind up winning the game. I will say maybe we save this later in the episode, later in the season, whatever. There are some questions about how this defense and the speed on defense will look against, let's say, Lamar Jackson later on
Doug,
in the season. Um,
Doug,
but we'll
it's
get to
like
that later.
it's third
My
on my
opening thought.
that's third on my list, by the way. Like it's right there. It's just like we're simpatico on this one, and
That's
Lamar made it
interesting.
on my list. So that was definitely something that was jarring last night. But we'll get to it later.
So you know how they do the pregame individual introductions now?
Yes.
For they did the offense first and they did the defense a couple of weeks ago. They did the offense again. As I'm sitting there in the press box watching the introductions, and it goes like offensive line, running back, tight end, wide receivers, and quarterback. Introducing Stefon Diggs and having the crowd go nuts for him being like fully pumped up, running out of the tunnel. There was a moment of like, how did they get here? It's crazy that not only are they 9-3, 9-2 now, best record in the NFL, atop the AFC standings. Every free agent signing worked, including Diggs. And like when they signed Diggs in March, what was the percent chance that this was going to go this well?
Mm,
20, 15, 25? There were just so many things that might not have gone well about it. The injury, his age, just I don't know, like all the things that were happening before the season on the boat when he was
mm,
handing out
mm-hmm.
pink bags, whatever.
Fun day.
Just the everyone's his reputation coming in. But this literally could not have been going more perfectly for the Patriots and Stefon Diggs. And that really is catapulting the season overall to where they are. I don't know how many less games they win if they don't have Stefon Diggs, but probably a decent amount. He's been so key on offense.
Especially the two primetime games. He's been the primetime player, which
Yeah.
is no given. Like that's something that's important.
And to lose
I you.
Kayshon Boutte, who's been as good as he is,
Mhm.
and to really, you take a slight step back, but him and Mack Hollins have really made up for the lack of Kayshon Boutte.
And everyone loves when we fall in a big pile of horse dung, right? We bigwig media types, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe a month or more than that ago, you did an update on all the other people the Patriots wanted. You
Right.
did Debo, you did Ayuk, you looked
Chris
at
Godwin.
Godwin. There was one that was doing well.
DK Metcalf was doing
Metcalf.
fine. I don't know if he's doing as well as Diggs, though, at this point.
So it's funny because what I forgot to mention in that was who I wanted the Patriots to get, which was Cooper
Oh.
Kupp. I wanted Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a good comparison. Now Diggs has now played 11 games. He has 59 catches for 659 yards and 3 touchdowns. Do you have the pace off the top of your head, or do you want me to do a little 17 divided by 11?
It's like 1,038 or something.
1,018. He's on
Okay.
pace for 1,018, and then he's on pace for let's see, 59. He's on pace for 91 catches for over 1,000 yards. So it's a heck of a probably 5-6 touchdowns. It's somewhat comparable. You can throw Kupp right in there because he has an MVP caliber quarterback throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
Granted, he has maybe the best receiver in football on the other
Right.
side, so that's cutting into him. But
Yeah.
he currently has 26 catches for 367 yards and a touchdown in 8 games played. So 3 fewer games played. But I think I would have thought Cooper Kupp was the safer bet, and I was wrong. So I think a lot of people were wrong, and you're right. The percentage of it being this good,
Yeah.
not just
To
pretty
underscore how wrong you are, I think that Kupp probably could not have been a number one receiver anywhere he went.
Perhaps, yeah. I mean,
and Diggs is, and they needed someone who could be a number one. Sorry
2021,
to underscore how wrong you were.
2021 was a long time ago, it turns out.
Yeah.
But Diggs is in year 11. Like, there was no guarantee there either. And the sideline stuff in Buffalo gave me the heebie-jeebies. But it's clearly not. I thought it was interesting last week when Diggs was saying he was in. Was it Kyle Williams or Travion Henderson's face?
Travion Henderson.
Being like, you need to make a play. You need to break one of these. And to be open about it, be like, yeah, I'm kind of an a-hole. Is an interesting look at how that works. It's his fit with Vrabel and the coaching staff is another thing that. How could you have known that? It's pretty crazy. What did he have last night? 9 for 109?
105, I think it was.
Close.
And he even had 2 pseudo drops.
2 drops.
2 drops, yeah. The PFF didn't count the first one as a drop, but
it's a drop.
I know there was a defender coming in, but like it was
the timing
kind of perfect for him.
I tweeted that out. Everyone was saying like it was a hospital. He was trying not to kill it. It's like the exact amount of time it took to drop it is the exact amount of time it would have taken to catch it and go down.
And then still take the hit. So
it's like it happened. It's not a big deal. But
I think Diggs fit on this team in general. And I think it comes down from Vrabel, because Vrabel is this kind of like not hard-nosed, not whatever. Like he's just kind of like a little bit of like a caustic, sarcastic type of guy, I think.
We summed him up perfectly. He accosts people for parking in the handicap spot at Starbucks. Right. Like he's going to be that guy.
And Christian Gonzalez was even asked after the game, like, has Mike Vrabel gotten under your skin? And he's like the most chill individual on the face of the earth. And he was like, yeah, he has. But so we were talking to Mack Hollins last night, and I asked him, what it's like to have, like, how beneficial it is to have another veteran receiver like Stefon Diggs in the room. And he was saying that they do a good job of motivating each other and pushing each other. So afterwards, I went up to him and was like, what's the most motivational thing that Stefon Diggs has said to you? And he said, I think this was after Mack Hollins' drop, which wasn't a drop, really. He had the ball punched out.
Great PBU.
Stefon Diggs apparently walked up to him and said, well, it's nice to fucking catch the ball. So like they're constantly just digging at each other out there and like giving each other shit for not making plays. And Mack Hollins apparently said the same thing to Diggs after one of his drops, to be like, well, you're never getting that one back. So like this is how they're interacting in games when they make mistakes. And basically what Hollins said was like, we don't have any time for like, oh, you'll get it next time, buddy. Like next time you'll catch the ball. That's just not how they interact. And I think it is beneficial to have Hollins in there as well to show the entire wide receiver group like, hey, this is the expectation. This isn't just one guy saying this. When you don't make a play, we're going to give you a hard time about it to force you to make it next time.
I'm glad you brought up Mack Hollins. And we're going to get into Drake Maye. We're going to get into the defense. We're going to get into all the fun stuff. But in terms of people being wrong. I had had a tweet last night, and I was like, "This is why we got a podcast, me and Doug," because I had this thought while driving yesterday, and it was going to be on my list. Your tweet. I want to quote you. Remember when some Patriots fans randomly hated Mack Hollins this summer? I had that exact thought yesterday, thinking like this guy has been so good for them. There was a one of Drake Maye's worst passes last night. You talk about the drop, was that high pass to Mack Hollins where Hollins went up with his 6'4" body and caught it at full extension while leaping. It's like he has been so good for them. He has 387 yards, the second best season of his career. He still has 6 games left to go. The previous best season of his career, we know, came with Josh McDaniels with the Raiders when he had 690 catches 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just funny how much, like you said, people hated and detested that he was on this team all summer. Like we would get comments on the podcast, we'd get tweets, and it was like, why is Mack Hollins here? He's in the way of this guy. They should have this guy, that guy, and that guy. People probably wanted to see Polk and Baker before they wanted to see Mack Hollins.
Yeah, Javon Baker for sure. Yeah.
And he has been really good, not just as a pass catcher, but as a willing participant in the run game.
Yeah.
Another like complete home run for whoever it was that made the decision to bring him in. I go with, I don't know, maybe McDaniels had a say in that one. I don't know.
I think that when you look at a guy who's been with another coach, there's probably a big, like, because Vrabel was even saying about Caleb on Chason that him and Mike Smith, the outside linebackers coach, were watching him and were like, hey, well, like, we should just sign this guy. So I do think that Vrabel gives power to his position coaches, and obviously McDaniels would play into this as well. But I'm looking at a tweet that I had this summer that wound up getting like 4.5 million views, and it was about Mack Hollins talking about how he like cuts his shirt into strips because it dries faster. And the first like 4 replies are, when are we going to cut this guy? So I'm not making this up. And my favorite thing about my tweet last night, by the way, not to talk about me and my tweet and all that stuff, were all the people that were like, hey, that was me and I was wrong. Like people were openly being like, yes, you're right. And I'm the problem. I was wrong. You very rarely see people just raise their hand and admit to being wrong about something. And yeah, Hollins has been great. Obviously, like, I think that people were afraid that he was going to get in the way of Kayshon Boutte, which obviously has not happened. I think that they were worried they was going to get in the way of guys like Javon Baker, which has happened. And Javon Baker, I don't think, is even on a practice squad right now. I also think they were afraid he was going to get in the way of Kyle Williams. And as we've seen this season, you cannot just throw a 3rd-round pick wide receiver into an offense and hope for the best and hope that he flourishes, because I have no idea what Kyle Williams' career is going to look like from here on, from henceforth. But he's having a very Tyquan Thornton rookie season right now, where he's playing a lot and there's very, very little production to show for it. And it's telling when you play a lot and there's not a lot of production, it means that he's probably not ready for this big of a role right now. He's playing a lot because of Kayshon Boutte. Like I said, his career very well could turn into the greatest wide receiver career of all time, but he's not really ready for this role yet.
Mm-hmm. I was doing a little research while you did that. I got some tweets sent at you. I searched at Doug Kyed Hollins. Let's see. September 14th. Too much Mack Hollins, too little Williams. Mack Hollins having more snaps than Diggs is insane. Might be a fair point, but Diggs was coming back from a torn ACL. Get rid of that stiff Hollins and open a spot for Chisholm. So I was wrong. Not just Baker and Polk. They wanted Chisholm on there.
Chisholm too.
Let's see. I'm so happy Mack Hollins is playing. Let's go. No one ever in existence. Do you think we'll be seeing guys like more guys like Kyle Williams and Efton Chisholm instead of guys like Mack Hollins? If not, how long will it take for a spark plug like Chisholm to not be a healthy scratch? Just use him and Hollins. There was like 13 of these in a span. There was one more. We're going to be keeping Bourne and letting Hollins go. That's another one. I forgot about Kendrick Bourne being in the picture. So it is interesting. I would say you and I were right on this one. We like to admit when we're wrong, clearly.
Yeah.
I think we thought he'd be a useful big body. Like they haven't had a big body like that.
Yeah.
So he's been good.
He had a good second half of camp. Like he was making big time catches in camp. And and he was just clearly ahead of those other players. And I don't know, like, not to take a victory lap about it or anything, but he's been a really good player. Yeah.
Do you want to do the topic du jour? I feel like we've gone 15 minutes without talking about the quarterback. We're going to get zapped by the podcasting gods if we don't.
Let's pause real quick. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. Weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Our lineup did not hit. It's because Drake Maye did not throw for 2 touchdowns. He only threw for 1. Had an MVP level performance, but did hit on Stefon Diggs catches. That was more than 3.5. He had 9. Also hit on Breece Hall carries.
We have 14.
It was more than 13.5, and he had 14. I know. A little tight on that one, but still. Justin Fields cut into that a bit because the Patriots could not catch up to him. But I promise you that we will definitely do better next time. And if you download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. So let's talk about that bum Drake Maye who couldn't even get 2 touchdowns.
What did he have, 9 incompletions?
What was it?
9 incompletions? That's a lot. You got to wonder if they're going to think about trading him.
Yeah, no, truly. His I believe his CPOE, which is completion percentage over expected, was back in the double digits this week, which like to see that from Drake Maye.
That's with 3 drops. So
with 3 drops. That was the 2 Diggs drops, and then are you counting the Hollins drop?
Yeah, which I don't fault him for. It was great, but the quarterback did his job.
Oh yeah, he delivered it perfectly. Yeah.
Broke it up, but at the same time, that might even out when you have some off target. He had a short one to Henderson that Henderson went down and caught off the turf. He had the high one to Hollins. So maybe those things do sort of work themselves out.
And he also had 3 passing attempts to Kyle Williams, which have almost the completion the expected completion percentage on those throws should be 0. So maybe that's why he had such a high completion percentage over expected.
So. I'm not a nerd. I don't know how the math works. I'm not going to worry about it. But
I don't know. It's a low probability play at this point, unfortunately, when you're targeting Kyle Williams in the offense.
Stats and nerd talk aside.
Yes.
Good point, though. I was struck in this game, and it wasn't the first time, but by just how calm and relaxed and poised Drake Maye was on so many plays, including the 4th down on the opening drive. Just standing there waiting. I think it was Pop Douglas on that one. Am I right? Yes. He ran the whip route. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Killed a guy. But just the way that he was calm in his delivery on so many of these passes almost looked like when he's getting in work after practice. He didn't look tight, stressed. And everyone, there was a lot of talk on the radio yesterday, like cold weather, small hands, whatever it may be. He looked so ready for that moment. We can talk about the specifics and the individual plays. But that was the big takeaway. Like, he was so in control, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know how long ago that started. You know what I mean?
I know. Because I think that obviously he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to have 4th quarter comebacks or game-winning drives or whatever at this point. But his poise on 3rd and 4th down, he's almost automatic on 4th down. Already does tell 16? You that he's got that clutch gene that you need out of a quarterback. Because you just have so much confidence that they're going to make a conversion on those types of plays. And yeah, his ability in the pocket to step up and still be looking downfield and to make throws, those weren't even there, I would say, in week 1 or week 2 or 3.
That's
because he was taking off running more in those situations. That's been built up even over the course of the season.
That's my thought. Like, we're doing we've done a lot of Drake Maye progression through the season talk, and the deep ball sort of got a lot of the attention on that. But in terms of just overall comportment, there's been so much growth there that you can't maybe quantify, but you just watch that game and I don't know, should I do it? Like, one of, in my opinion, greatest traits of Tom Brady, was the way he would stand in the pocket, and he'd be standing like a statue, and then there's the shoulders would go down because he was so comfortable and confident in there that he knew what was going to happen. He knew he could wait. He knew when he had time. He knew how to navigate the pocket. And I'm not saying Drake's doing that, but I'm saying to have the comfort and confidence while standing tall in a pocket, scanning the field, sometimes stepping up and making a throw. That one he made to Diggs for however many yards was probably one of his best pocket plays of his career. It's just like he keeps stacking these evidence of growth that stood out to me last night.
No, 100%. And obviously he didn't finish the game that strong. You would have liked to have seen them put the Jets away a little bit better. But as you said, Thursday night game, everyone's tired. It's barely even a football game. You're just getting out of there to survive. They still covered. They still played well. And yeah, I don't know what this is going to look like in the future, but right now he really is playing like the best quarterback in the league. Like there were so many MVP chants yesterday, and he's deserving of them right now. And I think that there was the one drive that was like really MVP worthy out of May. I think they
4 for 4. It was the third quarter drive, then with a touchdown pass to Henderson.
People tweeted afterwards like, oh, he's out there making Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes plays. And I tweeted, Drake Maye's making Drake Maye plays. I think we're already at the point where we can just categorize these as Drake Maye plays. We don't need to compare him to another quarterback at this point because he's his own player and he's playing so well that it's funny because early in the season, I think it was before the Bills game, I was comparing Drake Maye at this point of his career to Josh Allen at that point of his career.
Yes.
And I wrote multiple times and tweeted multiple times and probably even said on this podcast, it's unfair to compare Drake Maye today to Josh Allen today. So let's compare Drake Maye today to Josh Allen back in 2019. We're at the point where it's fair to compare Drake Maye today to Josh Allen today. Like that's where he's already at in year 2. And that's crazy. But Josh Allen took the massive leap in year 3.
Well, the second half of year 2, his first month of year 2 was awful. And I think from that point out, he cleaned a lot of his turnovers
he did, but
up.
It still wasn't the massive leap until year 3.
No one was saying that's an MVP type quarterback in year 2, but he did like the metamorphosis started in October of year 2.
Yeah. And then it was complete by year 3. Drake Maye's already at the Josh Allen year 3 level. And once again, like it's almost kind of pointless to compare him to Josh Allen at this point because he is his own player and you don't need to be making those player comps with him. He's been that good.
So we did that before this. And even through week 3, we were like, oh, well, Josh Allen took a while to get going in year 2. And I remember being on with Felger and he's like, that's not a mark of anything. It's meaningless. And it's like, well, do you know how many touchdowns Josh Allen threw in his second year?
Was it like 20?
20. Do you know how many touchdowns Drake Maye has?
I don't know.
20.
Really?
Right now. So it's funny because it was 20 and 9. And we were like, that would be pretty good for Maye.
I know. How many did Allen have in year 3?
Touchdowns, 37, which I don't think Drake Maye is going to get there with Trey.
No, but it's also just kind of playing styles, offensive styles.
That was also,
but it would be kind of surprising at this point.
Year 3 was also when Allen got Steph Diggs. So an interesting comp. But I have a question. Are you sure you tweeted that? Because I tweeted that and I can't find your tweet. I was going to compare our wording to see if we had the exact same thing.
Oh, about Allen and Maye?
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote an article about it. So that's
well, aren't you a fancy boy? Either way, I had the same thing because it was that play on that drive where he was running to the sideline. Looks like he was going to throw it away.
I did have a tweet. I thought you were talking about the Maye Allen comparison. So I'll find mine.
Okay. Yeah. But so he was running to the sideline at the last second, did that little flick to Diggs. They got 18 out of it instead of 0. And I think it was Herb Street who said something like, that's a Mahomes or an Allen type of play. Right. And I quoted it and said, like, no, that was a Drake Maye play. Like, welcome to the party, pal. Like, we've been watching this for a little bit.
Wait, I could have sworn I tweeted Drake Maye is doing Drake Maye things.
You did Drake Maye doing Drake Maye stuff. So I guess.
Okay. So yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe you inceptionized my tweet and you were just like, that's what we are. We are one now.
It's true.
One
more thought on Steph Diggs, just while I'm thinking about it. I think when they signed him, everyone saw the contract and was like, oh, okay, yeah, they can get out of that after a year. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, it's basically a 1 year, $20-something million contract or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm speaking too early, but that's a guy you 100% still want around next year right now.
Yeah. I mean,
you want that connection with Maye to build over the offseason. And he's been so good that you 1000% want to take year 2 of that contract.
Yeah, I do think while you were talking about Stefon Diggs and Mack Hollins kind of giving each other the business, that is a very delicate line, like between things blowing up when you're not into
That's
things
fair.
well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't not necessarily mean it's going to go on forever, but certainly that caliber player is special to this team that needs it, because I watched Vrabel on the Prime postgame show. He and
Yeah.
Drake Maye went out together for a postgame interview, which was an interesting choice.
Michael, that really kind of threw off the post game process.
No
I'm not
kidding.
gonna lie.
You got Spillane right off the jump. You got
And no
Gonzalez.
one listen.
You don't go in that room being like, what question am I going to ask Robert Spillane when he comes out in a minute?
And Patriots PR does a fantastic job. They're one of the best crews in the world. Like, no one was explaining to us why Robert Spillane and Christian Gonzalez were coming out first, and we all had to kind of deduce on our own. Oh, he's probably doing the Amazon thing.
Well, what made it worse
yeah.
is they did like their post game, and they're like, "Here we are, a post game show." And then Drake and Vrabel started walking out, and like, "All right, we're going to go to break, and they'll join us after." So there was a whole commercial break, and then the interview started, and it was two of them for probably 7 minutes. So that did throw it off. But my point is, Vrabel was talking about the young guys on the team, and he was asked specifically about the left side of the line. And Vrabel was talking about, my youngest son is Drake Maye's age, and the left tackles and left guard are 21 and 22, and Drake Maye is 23. And it's like, at a certain point, you realize like there's going to be a lot of firsts on this team, and he was saying how that's fun for him, and that is a good thing, a fun thing. But you're going to want guys where it's not their first. You're going to want guys
100%.
It was, you could come out there and lay an egg in a night like that, if not for guys that have the experience, and not just even like Pop Douglas is a veteran, but on a little bit bigger scale, someone like Stefon Diggs, who's been in a lot of situations where this was just not just another night, but not even close to the biggest game of his life.
No, definitely not. And it'll be interesting to see how the team continues to gel as some of these rookies get older, because there's 13 rookies on the team. And we've already seen Drake Maye mature a lot in year 2 and show off his personality a lot more. And some of those rookies, who knows, maybe they won't take the Stefon Diggs messaging as well when they're no longer rookies. But I think that Stefon Diggs is smart enough to adjust. I want to talk about Will Campbell real quick, and we'll get into booms and dooms very soon. First of all, also, while you're listening, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, do all those fun things with the Pats Chat podcast. Subscribe to all the podcasts on CLNS. Go to our YouTube, CLNS's YouTube. Just listen to the podcast however you want to, and also share how you feel about it. Hopefully something positive. I don't have the full Will Campbell stats in front of me for the night. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is thanks to Andrew Callahan, who did this on Early Edition last night. Ready?
That in the conversation, because when Mike's making up fake trades on the Pats Chat podcast, and I got mine on the Pats Interference, no one was talking about 3 first-round picks.
Andrew used to drop in some $5 words during his TV appearances. Now he's dropping podcast shout-outs, so thanks to him. He promoted himself, but also us. That was nice.
I know. I very much appreciate it. Andrew Callahan, great guy. Congratulations to him and his family. Will Campbell. So I don't have the full stats in front of me. Drake Maye had a lot of time to throw. He maneuvered those pockets well. I saw a 2025 redraft on Twitter, and I wish I could remember who it was, but they had the Patriots taking Ted McMillan and Will Campbell going to like number 10 overall. There's a 0% chance the Patriots are taking anyone but Will Campbell in a 2025 NFL redraft.
Yeah, who's playing left tackle if you don't have him?
You're not taking Cam Ward. You are not taking Travis Hunter. I don't think you're taking Abdul Carter. You found a left tackle. You're taking Will Campbell. Yeah. And I also just love that we've seen Will Campbell's personality shine over the last few weeks as well, where he crashes Drake Maye's press conference just to say Drake Maye, in his southern twang. But also, he was talking to the media after the game. He was asked about Drake Maye. He said, he's playing at an elite level right now. I'm biased, but I think he's the best player in the NFL. There's no game that we're out of when we have him. Even how good of a player he is, he's an even better person and an even better teammate. That just makes it that much cooler. To be able to share the huddle in the locker room and be friends with somebody like that, I just look forward to the future to continue to play with him and grow with him. And to be able to continue to grow in this offense, he's got everything in front of him now. I'm super excited to be a part of it. First of all, I think it's just so funny and fun that he's like, I just like being friends with Drake Maye. Like, it's so cool that I know Drake Maye and that I'm friends with him.
you
But
guys
also
ever
he's
met
already
him?
thinking like, God, we're going to be able to play with each other for so long. I'm going to be like his blindside protector. And we're already seeing on the field, he's a rookie combining with a rookie left guard to protect Drake Maye well enough for them to be 9-2. It's just been fun to watch.
It's funny too, because I was, before, the draft order played out the way it did in week 18, I thought Abdul Carter would be an absolute game wrecker, a massive player. I know he's on a bad team. I know his pressure stats aren't terrible, but the bottom line is he has 1 sack.
Right.
I didn't think he'd be a guy who can almost get a sack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they moved out of the top 3 and ended up at 4, it was like, man, they're going to miss this was a guy that wanted Lawrence Taylor's number unretired, if I'm not mistaken. So
and it's someone else's too, right? Oh, Phil Simms.
So imagine if
I know.
you were looking at that and a rookie disappointment. Will Campbell had a penalty last night. It was his first penalty since Tennessee in week 7, I think. So he had really, granted, he and Moses false started last week in Tampa, and they called it on Moses. But that's just a veteran, taking the bullets for a rookie.
Right.
The point is, he has been. There'd be, if you're the number 1 pick, you'd probably take Will Campbell again.
Yeah, I genuinely, I don't think there's,
and that's
we might wind up looking stupid 5 years from now. Abdul Carter might be Micah Parsons, or
that's Patriots specific though. Like, I'm not saying any team would take Will Campbell first out of all the players in the draft, but considering the needs and how hard it is to fill that spot, you seem to have done it. Like, I still see people sort of fantasizing about him moving to guard. And I want to say, like, who's playing tackle?
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to find a left tackle?
Who's going to play tackle? You know what it is? It's because they got Trent Brown off like the scrap heap
right
7 years ago. And it really worked. Like, for 1 year, it worked out great. And it's sort of maybe built a belief that, like, oh, anyone can play. It's like, well, if the biggest human being alive can take to good coaching for a year, that doesn't mean anyone in the world can play left tackle.
Right. I actually do have the PFF stuff in front of me now. Will Campbell allowed 1 hurry in the game, a single hurry, no other pressures. So really impressive performance once again by Will Campbell. Jets defense is the Jets defense, but they've got Will McDonald. They've got Jermaine Johnson. Like, they've got some pass rushers on that team, guys that other teams wanted to trade for.
Yeah, it was, I'm trying to think. There was good talk post game. Whitworth on the desk talking about how, because there was the Myles Garrett game stands out as obviously the worst, and Whitworth was like a horrible question for TV, but I appreciated it. When TV is like, how does it feel to be a winner? This was not that, but he was talking to Vrabel on a football guy level, and it was like, I don't think at LSU Will Campbell ever had chip help or ever had any sort, it was just one-on-one. He was mano-a-mano, and there's so much more complexity to it at this level. And it looked like the chips screwed him up against Garrett a few weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely.
So when he plays one-on-one, like, he's a battler. And there was the play, I think the clip kind of went semi-viral on Twitter, where he just absolutely pancaked whoever it was he was blocking.
Yeah.
And that was a rep he was losing.
Right. Yeah.
He lost a step. He was getting sort of pushed back into May, and then just sort of set his base and flipped the script on like that split second moment's notice where the defender's weight wasn't pushing him forward.
Yeah.
It was a really, we talk about Drake Maye's advancement and whatever, like, that's a play I don't think a rookie makes in week 4.
No. Yeah. I agree with that. I think that was a really positive rep to see, and just a really positive performance overall from him.
Oh, can we talk about, before we move on?
Yeah.
Mike Onwenu's block.
Yeah, I was going to say, yes.
Henderson's second touchdown.
Man.
So, I don't know if you missed it, Mike Onwenu pulled from the right guard spot to the left and was just looking for someone to hit someone so hard. Doug, I thought it was a safety. I figured it must have been a 175-pound safety.
Yeah.
It was a linebacker. He hit him so hard. The sound was like, it brought back so many bad high school football memories for me. I was the guy getting hit all the time on the practice field, but
Your face mask bouncing off the turf.
he did not know what happened.
Yeah.
He had no clue, and he was pissed. I don't even know who it was. It was a linebacker, and
Yeah.
he was furious. As I don't know. I have to watch the end zone view on how that affected. It might not have even opened a hole, but by God, was
No, it did.
violent?
He
Okay.
yeah. It was basically all. It was Westover, Onwenu, and someone else. Might have been Hunter Henry. Just like opened that hole wide open for Trevor Anderson to get through. And the fun thing about that too is that Michael Onwenu's obviously a very good player, but probably the least athletic offensive lineman
He's
on
huge.
that line because he's 350 pounds or whatever. You just aren't expecting him to be the puller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're expecting it to be Jared Wilson or maybe even Garrett Bradbury after a snap or Will Campbell, the guys who run like 4.8 40s. You're not expecting Michael Onwenu to come flying at you from the right side. And that's what happened.
It's one of those things too, like doesn't all like to your point about the athleticism, the execution on that is not always a guarantee. Like to get in front of May and behind Bradbury, like Bradbury can't get pushed back. Bradbury has to make some progress. And when you came pretty close to Drake Maye, like they could have at least banged ankles, but I'm gonna watch it again. Ready? Oh, his head hit the ground so hard he had no idea what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it stands out. I just have the chart up here of I lost it. Where did it go? Of Henderson's running chart. Both touchdowns to the left side.
Yeah.
He ran behind that left side of the line a lot. And that was another, you go back to the preseason conversations. Do you want two rookies on the left side of your line? Again, we've said it a million times. Jared Wilson had some struggles early, isn't a Hall of Fame guard, but is solid and you don't worry about him.
You know what? Jared Wilson, highest PFF grade of his career in this game. Previous high was 59.1, 74.4 in this game, 84.5 pass blocking grade, 0 pressures allowed. It would be pretty massive if he really rounds into shape over the second half of the season here. And this is a team that still has some issues. We'll talk about those in a minute here, but yeah, that was fun.
I agree.
Should we do booms and dooms? Did you have anything else?
I got a lot, buddy. I got a lot. We probably got another hour, 2 hours left. So buckle up. Speaking of which, I liked, who was it? It was a cornerback, broke up a pass to Hunter Henry in the fourth quarter, I think down 10, and did the seatbelt celebration. I was like, you know what? He's having
Strap
fun
in, fellas.
It might have been Stevens, actually, who made the pass breakup on Hollins.
Mack Hollins. That was a really good play.
Maybe it was well-deserved. But yeah, we can do booms and dooms.
Okay.
I actually have a bevy of both.
A bevy of both.
Bevy
All
of
right.
both.
So let's knock Drake Maye, Steph Diggs out of the way first, maybe because we already talked about them so much. Do you have anything more to say about those guys? Because they both made my boom list.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. What was your most impressive Drake Maye throw of the night? I'll go first while you think about it. There was a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7. It won't make SportsCenter. Henry broke over the middle. Drake Maye could not have run the ball out and placed it in Hunter Henry's hands any better than he did. Henry was running across the middle with his hands up, and the ball was just in there. And there was a defender on his back, and it's like ball.
Really impressive play by Hunter Henry too.
Yeah, I mean, he's a strong tight end, but the ball placement was sick. So to me, that one was probably my number one throw.
I don't.
Other one.
I mean, the throw to Mack Hollins.
Yeah.
Is up there. And I hate to say that about an incompletion, but that was a perfectly placed deep ball. And Drake Maye's deep numbers have not been as good over the last couple of weeks, but that shows that there are also extenuating factors involved. That was a 60-yard bomb down the field with a defender hitting him as he's throwing it.
Yeah.
And he put it perfectly to Mack Hollins. So there were some other ones where he's stepping up in the pocket and throwing strikes, just showing off the mobility. But that's the one throw that probably stands out the most.
My second place one was, I got to get the timestamp, 3rd quarter, 10 minutes. This was the drive that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
2nd and 8. It was the pressure that Will Campbell allowed off the left side. Hunter Henry allowed a pressure off the right side. So Maye's kind of cooked in the back of the pocket, steps up, eyes upfield. That's a play where week 4, he's probably running. or week 2, he's
Right,
probably
yeah,
running.
yeah.
He looks up on the run and does that like sort of shortstop throw.
Yeah.
Hits hits Diggs in stride for, I don't know, 25 yards
Right.
before like in front of the safety behind the second level. It was elite.
Yeah, it really was. And then Diggs, he's not going to be a guy who's making a ton of plays 50 yards downfield, but it's very clear that he has become Drake Maye's most trusted option on offense. He's the guy who he's going to when things aren't necessarily going right. He's sometimes picking up death by 1,000 cuts type catches, which we saw a lot last week. And sometimes he's able to make plays further downfield and pick up yards after catch. And that's how you see 100-yard performances from him.
Well,
And
early
for
on,
him, it doesn't seem to matter if he gets 44 yards or 104 yards. He's still going to be out there making plays for them.
to your point about death by 1,000 cuts, there's some that are just like taking candy from a baby. And it was that
Right.
early 3rd and 3. He just ran a quick slant,
Yeah.
and the corner tried to jam him on the outside shoulder. He was on the left side. The corner tried to, and he got him. But Steph Diggs was like, "You're an idiot," because now I'm over here, and it
Right.
was 7 free yards on 3rd and 3. And it's like that. Like 7 yards. Are we going to have a big conversation about it? No, but
Right.
we watched this team for so many years punt after failing to convert to
yeah.
3rd and 3. So it's a difference maker.
Definitely is. Mack Hollins is another one that made my boom list. 4 catches, 64 yards. Did have the pseudo drop, whatever you want to call it, but he made that leaping catch, which was really impressive. He is the guy. He's not a death by 1,000 cuts guy. He's the guy who's kind of taken over the mantle from Kayshon Boutte since Boutte went down, where he's making plays 20 yards downfield and picking up huge chunk plays. And it's when you don't have maybe the best guy in the league so far at making those downfield plays, it's nice to have someone like Mack Hollins who can take over that role without much of a drop off. And when those guys are both in the offense together now, maybe we see both of them making plays downfield.
There's a saying, it's blank or bust. What is that first one? Boom or bust. Doug, he's a boom.
Not doom or bust.
Not doom or bust. And we have to, of course, it's kind of weird we made it this far without really talking about Travion Henderson.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I know he didn't have any 60-yard touchdowns, but
Right.
up until the 3rd quarter drive when they were up, 21-7, he was getting every single snap at running back. Like Dearness Johnson finally came in and it was like, oh, they gave him a breather. And then it was third and 20 and they brought in, or 3rd and 10 and they brought back Henderson back in. But a full-size nameplate.
Very big. Very, very, very big.
It was remarkable. He needs to go to that full time.
It looked a lot better. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think there's that amount of space on the navy blue jerseys.
They'll figure it out. I guess. Whatever. Figure it out. The first touchdown, that cut, the jump cut when he got the pitch was special.
Yeah.
He's got a man in the open field. If he breaks it left, he's going to lose a yard. He's going to get stopped. He just planted that left foot and was shot straight up the field. And whoever that defender was, I should know, but I forget.
8 snaps, by the way, he was off the field. He played 58 of 66 snaps.
That's a lot. And some of his runs were punishing. Like he was running between the tackles every time, I want to say. Like there was no designed outside runs.
Right.
Maybe that touchdown run was, but he cut it up the field. He took a beating. He's not enormous. You might have noticed. So I was really impressed overall by his game. Obviously,
especially in a short week. Yeah.
Obviously, 3 touchdowns is pretty incredible. I think he's the first rookie or only rookie in Patriots history, other than Rob Gronkowski, to score 3 touchdowns in a game. So mark that down.
Yeah. Overall, Patriots rushing attack was not necessarily something to write home about. 2.4 yards per carry. Travion Henderson had 3.3 yards per carry. I do still think there's some run blocking issues. I think the run game will probably improve when Ramondre Stevenson is able to cut into Travion Henderson snaps, but it certainly was an issue. When you've got your running back scoring 3 touchdowns in one game, obviously something is going right, and they certainly ran well on those 2 touchdown runs.
I want to ask you, this is bad prep by me, on his touchdown catch. It looked like the Jets defended the goal line as if it was the back line of the end zone.
Yeah, basically.
It was like soccer, like, oh, he's offsides in soccer. I wonder how much of that, I haven't watched the dots. I'd like to see the overhead of that one. How much of it was improvisational on Henderson's part? Because it was kind of late breaking. May was kind of just waiting for him to get there. So I'd have to double check that one, but it seemed like it might have been a little off script.
I would not be surprised by that. Also, good overall to see the Patriots have red zone success in this game.
Yeah.
What were they? 3 of 5 in the red zone, but did score 3 touchdowns down there, which was an improvement. I've got a couple other booms. They're not huge ones, but Del Pettis deserves a special shout out just because
4th down
every
PBU.
single time that guy's on the field, he's making a play.
Mhm.
And so far he's not getting a ton of snaps, but like pass breakup over Kyle Pitts, he's making tackles before guys can get to the first down marker. He had the pass breakup over Ruckert at the end of the game. Like he's coming in on 3rd downs, and the Patriots have trusted him throughout the season to cover Brock Bowers one-on-one, Kyle Pitts one-on-one. It makes you wonder why he's not playing more, since they trust him to take on such good players in high leverage situations. And I do think that he's going to start playing more football here. Mike Vrabel even kind of said it in his post-game speech. Robert Spillane said it after the game when he was first up to the podium. Pettis has been a good player since last year. Seems like people are just kind of starting to take notice because he's making more and more of these big plays. But yeah, guy who comes up big in big moments.
Yeah, he was a sneaky boom. I was trying to compile a list of defensive players that could combine for one boom, and I got Pettis 4th down PBU.
Yep.
And I kind of stopped there. So
Well, I've got another one if you want to add to it.
yeah, sure.
So if the Patriots had swung a trade at the trade deadline, and if that player was making $1 million a year and they had to give up absolutely nothing for him, and if that player had 2 sacks in the last 2 weeks.
No, you can't make a trade without giving up 3 firsts, according to Elliot Wolf.
And if that player had 2 sacks in 2 weeks, I think he'd be like, hey, that was one hell of a trade that the Patriots just made. Well, that's Elijah Ponder right now.
Yeah.
Because Elijah Ponder was an undrafted free agent. He's seen his snaps increase since the Patriots traded Keon White, and now he has 2 sacks in 2 weeks. One of those, he was beating Tristan Wirfs against the Bucks. Had another one last night. Not saying that he's going to be like a superstar or anything, but we're starting to see a second half of the season leap from him, that if that continues and if he can provide some more pass rush on 3rd down or to spell Harold Landry, who looks like he's maybe not playing his best football right now, it'd be big. So I'd throw in Elijah Ponder as well.
See, he had that one play where Gonzalez and Ponder, they had Justin Fields bracketed for a loss.
Right.
And then they were like, whoa.
Yeah.
He cut inside and got the first down. So I struggled to put him on that list because of that. And Gonzalez too, like he only allowed 1 catch, but I thought he got beaten a few times.
He did. There were some drops, yeah.
The big drop by A.D. Mitchell. There was the other one where Fields missed him. Granted, Gonzalez was picked on that one. It was a 3rd down play.
Right.
So like I couldn't quite put them on the full boom list.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I did go back and look. I have too many tabs open. I couldn't tell you. It looks like a designed flag route for Henderson on the touchdown. I don't think that was improv. There was no one back there. Bad coverage. Yeah. Anyways, Doom's time.
I think it's Doom's time. I feel like I always start these things off, so I'll let you start off.
I got Kyle Williams. I tweeted out last night, RIP to the Drake Maye Kyle Williams connection, born November 9th, 2025, ended November 9th, 2025, because the second ball, I guess, to him was a perfect back shoulder throw. And you could even see Williams look up, and at no point was he like, oh, I have to turn my body and catch this. He was just like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And bad job by Herb Street on the broadcast. He's like, May just missed him. It's like, no, he threw a back shoulder. He threw the perfect ball against that coverage. They had multiple instances where they weren't on the same page. Wrong route. If you can make Drake Maye look bad at this point in time, you're doing a really bad job. So Kyle Williams, we're understanding why his impact has been so little.
Yeah, and now Keyshawn Booty's got a week and a half to come back. If he's able to come back, that certainly lifts the offense. Once again, we'll see what Kyle Williams' future looks like, but right now he's probably not ready for this amount of snaps. My next doom is more of an idea than it is a person or a player. That would be the Patriots' edge containment.
Where's the edge?
Because unfortunately, I think the edge just isn't fast enough. and because Justin Fields was regularly beating the Patriots edge defenders to the edge and running past them. And Justin Fields is like a 4.4, 4.5 guy. And, Harold Landry isn't at this point of his career. So I think that was one of the issues, but you would have liked to see some better cornerback play, some better edge containment by the edge guys. It wasn't there. Obviously, the Patriots still won by 13, so it wasn't the hugest crisis. But that's because Justin Fields can't really throw the ball.
He cannot.
And you mentioned it earlier, Lamar Jackson's coming down the pike. He's a guy who's as fast as Justin Fields and can also throw the ball. So I think that'll become more of an issue in that game against the Ravens. And we're all looking for that next loss on the Patriots schedule.
Who's the Bills quarterback?
Josh Allen also.
Oh, right. He
fast.
can also remove and throw the ball, right?
Yeah.
That's
not as fast as Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson, but still fast.
Still plenty fast. Yeah. I think they're you're right in the speed issue, but scheme wise, I can distinctly remember one play. Landry was lined up on the left edge and they ran he rushed through the A gap.
Yeah.
He looped in, and I don't think you should be doing that with a quarterback who loves just running off the edge. I don't think you can do that against a stationary, slower guy. Mm-hmm. But I think there were some strategical errors in some of that too, because I think what it showed for me, it's right in line with that. When the strength of your pass rush is up the middle, it really becomes useless against a guy that can just easily run to the boundary. And like you said, if you can actually throw, the Patriots are going to be screwed.
Right. Yes.
Because boy, that guy stinks at throwing footballs. Was that the most inaccurate quarterback you could it was Tebow-esque, I want to say.
Yeah, he would have been saved if Adonai Mitchell hadn't played as poorly as he did. But I mentioned this, I'm sure, on the podcast. I've said it in person to people, the Jets' plan of, all right, we're signing Justin Fields and then Tyrod Taylor as our two quarterbacks. Why did they think that was going to work? Justin Fields just hasn't been a starting caliber quarterback.
Didn't he lose his job to Kenny Pickett last year?
And to just hand him the reins
after going undefeated for 6 weeks. Isn't that what happened?
To have a quarterback who you just don't trust to throw the ball, and he's throwing for 100 yards per game or whatever it is at this point, you don't have a team at that point. And the Jets came into the year with good players. They just traded half of them away, but this wasn't a team that necessarily needed to be a bottom feeder in the NFL. Yeah. When they've got Garrett Wilson and they've got Quinn Williams, they've got Sauce Gardner, they've got two rookie or good young offensive tackles, they've got Will McDonald, they've got Jermaine Johnson. This did not need to be a team that was as bad as this is. And I think a lot of the fault goes to who they chose to be their quarterback. Just
a quick correction. He lost his job to Russell Wilson last year.
Russell Wilson.
After going 4-2 to start the season. Interesting. It's the Jets. And you know what, Doug? We quickly interrupt this program. I called Aaron Glenn a clown the other day, and you disavowed it. You said that was Michael, not me. 12 men on the field after a TV timeout. Unbelievable. You had a play, the Jets defensive back. Aaron Glenn, what position did he play in his career?
Played cornerback.
Interesting. He had two cornerbacks commit penalties on a play where Mack Hollins was wide open. How did you commit two defensive holding penalties and still leave the biggest receiver completely uncovered? There was that one. There was, what was the other? There were so many dumb penalties. The second play of the Jets go up 7-0. They stop Stefon Diggs 2 yards short of the sticks on the second play. The Patriots are facing an early third down, and you suplex Stefon Diggs to the turf after the whistle. Dumb football. There was another one I'm forgetting. There was some bad, undisciplined play by that team.
Absolutely.
I don't
Curious
know.
to see what happens there with Aaron Glenn and the Jets. I do want to take a chance before we get to our last doom to just talk about Prize Picks again. Prize Picks is very easy to use. You download the app, and then you pick if a player is going to have more or less of a certain stat. That's your lineup, and then you either make money or you don't. But if you're smart, you make money. Coming up, where it's going to be a while before the Patriots play again, but I'm already excited for my next Prize Picks lineup to share it with you guys. I'll be doing that at midweek next week, and you can get some free money right now because if you download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS, you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
I got the other penalty.
What was it?
3rd and 6 near midfield before halftime. Drake Maye sacked in about 2 seconds flat.
Yep.
Penalty on Stevens
Illegal contact again,
for
right?
literally riding Mack Hollins all the way. I don't know how you could commit a penalty in the 1.8 seconds it took for Quincy Williams to sack Drake Maye untouched off the edge.
Yeah.
But they did it. And now, granted, that didn't hurt them. And we'll get into my next doom because of Andy Borregales, who missed the 40-yarder before halftime. Not a terrible kick, but this ain't Miami. Right. This is New England in November. You have to at least, he had hit 13 straight field goals and 27 straight.
Week 2.
Hadn't missed a field goal since week 1. Hadn't missed a kick at all since week 2. Has been good. So still, people do miss kicks. Yeah. But for me, it's an eyebrow raiser because it's a 40-yarder in November in New England. It's the weather's not getting nicer. Yeah. So it's just something to keep an eye on.
Craig Woodson was my last doom because he slipped and fell on a touchdown.
I had Craig Woodson spikes specifically.
That's fair. Yeah.
I have another one for you, and it was before the kick. 1st and 10 from the 28 with 8 seconds left, and they go inside handoff to Henderson.
Oh, yeah. You would have liked to see them be a little more aggressive there.
Now, a few plays earlier, Drake had thrown the arm punt that somehow wasn't picked off.
True, yeah.
So maybe they were a little skittish, but at the same time, I don't know, playing for 3 when you have an MVP quarterback is a little way too conservative for my liking.
I think that's fair. I also think that obviously Vrabel was much more aggressive against the Bucs. There's certainly some logic to playing more aggressively against good teams.
But it's the Jets.
Taking what you can get against a bad team. I know, but like you're gonna beat them if you just take what you can get.
All right, but
you might not be able to do that against the Bucs.
Even if you don't go for the end zone, what if you go for a slant to Diggs and see what happens? What if you go for Henry up the seam and see what happens? Yeah. Like someone's going to be open based on the way they're playing.
I wanted a deep shot to Mack Hollins there. That's what I was hoping for.
There were a lot of options, and they went with an inside handoff to Henderson for 1 yard, and then they missed a kick, which I think was karma.
That's fair. We talked about the Jets a little bit, and I don't want to go long because this is Pat's chat, not Jets chat. Just like the 2 New York teams in general. I know that the Giants have won 2 Super Bowls in the last, 20 years?
18
years. And they won a few when we were children.
Really before our time, if we're being frank.
But like, I have to go to MetLife Stadium a lot because the Patriots just play the Jets a lot, obviously. They play them once a year. And they play the Giants a decent amount, and then also in the preseason. It's New York City. It's one of the biggest cities in the world. And they just always have 2 bad football teams.
Yeah.
Like, you got to figure that out. You've got all the money in the world. You're in the biggest market in the country. Figure it out. Get a good head coach. Get a good GM. Pay them whatever they need. Like, what are you doing by having 2 bad teams in New York City? And I don't care. I don't care that much about New York City. It's whatever. But like, there's really no excuse for how bad those teams are year to year and how little interest overall there even can be in those 2 teams. Because like, if you're a Jets fan, how do you care? How do you care about an offseason when it's this bad every single year?
And they've had glimpses of hope. And we talked about it recently. Like they've hit on most of their first round draft picks, and it hasn't resulted in building. I think there is maybe that New York element of a lack of patience. You look at, they had Tom Coughlin, who was a very good head coach. His last 2 years were very bad. And then you had a year and a half of McAdoo. You had 2 years of Shermer, which was one of the weirdest hires ever. Yeah. Then you take Bill Belichick's advice to hire Joe Judge, which I swear was a Bill Belichick prank. I will go to my grave thinking Belichick got their ass. Then you go with Daboll. And
he was the hot candidate, I will say. Yeah,
I forget who it was. It might have been Dan Duggan. Someone down there tweeted a list of every person who's interviewed for the head coach job in the Giants in the last 3 cycles, like going back to the Judge, maybe the Shermer one too. The only guy on that list, this is kind of interesting. The only guy on that list that I would say they really missed out on was Brian Flores, who was suing them for having a sham interview. But the Giants, 65-124 since 2014. They've lost just about twice as many games as they've won. The Jets, They got their Aaron Rodgers, they got their Hard Knocks moment a couple years ago. That pooped out in week 1. I don't know. It's just crazy that the Patriots finally tapped out of the AFC East for a few years.
I know.
And the Bills have, taken advantage to a degree. They've won the division, but they don't have anything to show for it in terms of hardware. And the Jets sort of had hope for a minute, and then that went away. And now it's like, I saw on SportsCenter last night, ESPN Analytics has the Patriots at 77% chance to win the AFC East.
Do you feel bad at all for the other AFC
Bad.
East teams or fans?
I don't feel bad for sports fans. It's sports.
Yeah.
You hope your team wins and
that's
wish
fair.
for the best.
Speaking of short, like impatience.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. I guess it probably did make sense to fire Rex Ryan because he went 4-12 his final season with the Jets and had been 8-8, 6-10, 8-8, and 4-12. But like, is he
been
the
bad.
best Jets head coach they've
Well,
had?
It's tough because we do this a lot in New England. Like when Belichick would let a player go,
Right.
did it ever hurt them? Like very rarely did a player have a good career. Like Rex Ryan went to Buffalo and
You know what? Actually, they were impatient with Todd Bowles. They probably should have kept Todd Bowles around a little. I don't know. Actually, he had a 375 winning percentage. Maybe not.
Not a big Todd Bowles guy, but Rex went to Buffalo and was supposed to usher in a new era there, and that lasted 2 years and was over. So, and he hasn't coached since. So I don't know that they were impatient with him. I think that message probably rang hollow after a while. Like you can only listen to that guy for so long. So I don't know. Gase was a really bad hire. Saleh seemed like a good hire.
I know.
But then I watched Hard Knocks. I'm like, this guy can't control a room at all. It was sort of jarring. Like some people are coordinators. We talked about that last week. But anyways, it's kind of ties into another thought I have.
There are, just real quick, the Jets have had 2 head coaches in their team history with a winning percentage of 500 or better. That's crazy. Bill Parcells and Al Groh. Those are the only 2. And Al Groh coached for 1 year, went 9-7.
That doesn't count. So Herm was 488. That's, pretty good. They went
good for them.
So
Mangini and Rex Ryan both 479.
It's funny.
And then it's just gotten worse since.
We witnessed, in terms of playoff games, the best coaches in Jets history. And that's Rex Ryan coached them to 6 playoff games. Yeah. And Herm Edwards coached them in 5 playoff games.
Yeah.
Parcells only coached them in 2 playoff games. They went 1-1.
Well, he wasn't there long.
I know, but they were good for that stretch. My other sort of big picture takeaway is the Jets really ruined this thing. They really played like such ass. I mentioned the penalties, the fumbled snap, and then just fall on it, Justin Fields. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, that was wild.
It was just sort of, there were plays that were non-competitive.
Yeah.
That, like, it's fine. You take what you can get on these Thursday nights, but they really just they were a drag on the night on what could have been more fun and competitive and like a real NFL game.
No, it's definitely true. All right. I think we should probably get out of here. We're already over an hour.
I have an embarrassing story to tell you first.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Let me clean one thing up because I mentioned this to you before we started. Mm-hmm. The Amazon Prime nerd guy, I say that with love, who does the Prime Vision stats. Yeah. He spotlighted Christian Gonzalez for having a great night because he allowed one catch for 2 yards. So the completion percentage over expected was -3, or receptions over expected. So he did have a pass breakup in the end zone, but I don't know. Didn't it feel like he wasn't great?
Yeah, no.
He got beat a couple times.
That's sometimes stats lie. Sometimes the eye test. Yeah, it doesn't.
That wasn't my embarrassing story. My embarrassing story is I have older cars in my family. We have older cars, and I kind of fell behind on the fluid changes.
Ooh.
And because like I get my oil changed at Valvoline, and all due respect, they're not a sponsor. They're a ripoff. Like I have them to do my oil, but like everything else they do is quintuple the charge it should be. So I don't do anything there, and I kind of fell behind. So I called a mechanic, and I was like, "Can I get my engine coolant replaced or flushed, whatever you want to say?" And they were like, "Sure." So I made an appointment, and I brought it in yesterday to leave it there. And I say to the lady at the desk, I'm like, "Could I also get the radiator fluid flushed?" And she goes, "That is the engine coolant." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna head out. Thank you."
I knew that.
There, you can charge me double now. So yeah, that was a tough
she should have just been like, "Yeah, sure." Tried to do that too.
That's actually, she could have. So I guess I appreciate it. But yeah, that tells you all I know about cars.
Speaking of cars, and this is just a Doug Vance situation right now. I left Gillette around 1:30 last night.
Not
driving
bad.
the back roads home from Foxborough. Doesn't take me very long. Whole time I'm going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. Car behind me is tailgating me so close that I cannot see their headlights for most of the drive. At some point, I'm probably going to get arrested for pulling over the side of the road, signaling someone over to follow me to park, and then just getting out and like knocking them out.
Yeah.
Because nothing makes me more mad than someone tailgating me. And if you tailgate me, I will go slower. I'm not above pettiness.
Yeah.
I will go slower.
I think like you got to drive a beater at some point. So
And
if
just
you
let them like smash the hell out of the back. Yeah.
you don't have to brake check. You can just let off the gas and wait for that contact. You got to get a little camera.
When I was turning,
Ruin their night, baby.
When I was turning left to turn onto my street, I went down to like 10 miles per hour. I was like, you are going to suffer while I make this turn. I'm going to start braking so far in advance. Dude, it is 1:30 in the morning and I'm going over the speed limit. Chill out.
My philosophy on that, ever since like I got my license in high school, was like, if you're such a big tough guy, go around me, pass me on a back road, which you can do. There's no one coming. You can go around me, but if not, then you're just being a little yippy dog, nipping at my heels, and you don't bother. I will say, if you're doing like 58 in the left lane on the highway, you do deserve to get sort of the flash, get out of the way thing, because I did witness that yesterday.
Yeah.
Some guy was just going
at that
58.
point, it's just dangerous because then people have to pass you on the right.
Yes. So you do deserve a little get out of the way when that comes. Ludacris comes on. But on a back road, especially at that time, if you want to go faster, there's another half of the road you can use.
Right.
But other than that, just stop it.
Yep. All right.
Two car guys.
I know.
Hey, am I wearing storm blue?
A couple of gearheads. What?
Is this storm blue? Are you wearing storm blue?
I think mine's more storm blue than yours.
I have that color.
I think yours is just gray.
I think I have those pants on. We're big storm blue guys. We did a lot of time on jerseys and looks. What was your verdict in person?
That looked cool. I thought it looked good. I saw some people being like, this should be their uniforms. This should be their. I wouldn't go that far.
I would say the design should be their uniform because their uniform sucks. The Patriots jerseys look like there's a teen movie where they need a high school football scene, and they're just like, whatever, put a red and white stripe on a blue jersey. The white one is probably the worst jersey in sports. People don't talk about it enough. It's just a white shirt with a red stripe on the shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if you take this base and colorize it the proper way, you could really start cooking.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. I would like to see them wear white helmets with some sort of navy blue jerseys as their next look. We'll see if they wind up doing it. But yeah, this is an improvement over their jerseys, I would say. But I don't know if it's a strong enough look with the color and everything to make it their official jerseys. I don't think their color can be storm blue.
No, I don't think so either.
It's fun as an alternate jersey, but can't be your primary color.
It made them look faster. Pop Douglas looked exceptionally. Even he fell over again, but he got up this time. Very smart. Nice play by him. I thought back though last night because you want to compare it to their regular jerseys or whatever. Remember the gray alternates in the mid 2000s? Those sucked.
Those looked like dirty laundry.
Those were awful. So if you compare it to that, like this was probably as good, if not better than the red ones. So it was a success, I would say. And they probably sold a lot of merch because it was on the TV.
And now they're 1-0 in them. So people are going to be clamoring for more.
The Red Sox famously won like 9 straight games in their stupid yellow jerseys. So, these things are real.
What are the chances that if Bill Belichick was the coach and they had these jerseys, that he would have been wearing a navy blue or gray hoodie?
100%.
All right, we'll leave.
It's funny. It's funny watching him wear the UNC stuff because it's all like sort of hip. It's like Jordan stuff,
right?
And it's like not his little girlfriend. It's like Michael Jordan stuff, Air Jordan. It's like that is not his preferred style, but he's doing it. He's playing the game down there.
All right, goodbye.